Hello my dolly dearies and welcome to another video. So today we're carrying on with our Yandere simulator series and making Osoro Shidesu, the bad girl delinquent of the group. This doll is actually one of my favourite rivals and they introduced a new minigame for the delinquents which I think is really fun. You should definitely go check out the game if you haven't already. But without any further ado, let's get on with the video. I decided to use this Raven Queen doll, I think that's her name, I'm sorry I'm so bad at the names, because I felt that her face sculpt was very suitable for Osoro. But we can get started on the face up straight away, since she has already been all prepped and all we have to do is spray some Mr. Super Clear. I take my brown pastels and start slashing on some angry eyebrows, and shading the eyes, cheeks, lips, nose, and anything else that I think needs a bit of shading or blush here and there. This process can be kind of difficult to get a hold of, but after a while you kind of get into the hang of it, and a lot of it is experimentation, and if something's wrong you can always wipe it away super quickly, so don't be afraid to try out new things. But with all the blushing done, we can move on to the pencils. I sketched out a basic thing in orange for the guidelines of where everything should go, which would disappear quite neatly underneath the rest of the colours. I start filling in the whites of her eyes with my white pencil to try slowly building up colour, and will later fill in her eyes and add her highlights with the same white pencil. The trick is to not press your pencils down too hard, but to lightly go back and forth in layers. It helps the colours build up softer and not chip the Mr. Super Clear. But with that, her face is done. All that's left is to add some highlights with white acrylic paint. I carefully take my brush to stroke on the smallest highlights, and then I take my Liquitex high gloss varnish, shake it up, and stroke bits onto the eyes and lips to give them a lifelike shine. Now for the hair. I'm going to take this blondie yellowish yarn, cut it all into equally sized lengths, and measure it so that it equally fits onto the head and looks vaguely the right length. Then I'm going to separate it into hanks and tie a knot in the middle. This will make it easier to manage when I comb it out and brush and iron it later on. To keep it equal, I tie it a little weirdly, which is why I've shown you this video, but it helps me get it right in the middle. I then unravelled each and every single one of them until we got these little wavy strands, which are much easier to brush out with a pet brush rather than the entirety of the yarn all ravelled up. In a few seconds in this clip of me furiously brushing, you can already see it starting to fluff up and unravel. It made a lot of fluff. A lot of fluff. Usually I'll try to reuse it for other projects, always try to put it aside in a bag. I then take my hair straightener and pass it slowly over the yarn on low temperature. This helps flatten and smooth the fibres to look like hair. When repeated on everything, we have a lot less hair than we started out with. Hopefully it's all going to be enough. I also need to paint her head yellow so that it all matches and we don't see any ugly black splotches underneath. It doesn't matter that the colour's a little off, it'll look good enough. But with all the hair glued on and styled, we've got something which looks pretty similar to her hairstyle in game. I take my scissors and start slowly feathering the ends into smaller sections, which I'll put together with some hairspray, and I have a bit of glue on my fingers to roll up the ends into the little anime spikes. These hairstyles look so cool in drawing, but I just never know how to do them in real life, unless you want to have a kilo of hairspray on your head, which doesn't sound too fun, to be honest. But her hair is all done, styled, and I think it looks pretty swanky if I do say so myself. Now, on to the clothing. It's the same old making the regular school uniform, with your skirt, your top, the little bits around the top. The only difference this time is a coat. But with the school uniform all assembled, all that's left to make is the coat. I cut out this pattern, which I'm not going to share because it was literally just an extended regular dress pattern, and it's not very accurate. Maybe at some point I'll make a better pattern for all of you. With the coat sloppily stitched together, it looks decent. And I didn't have to hem anything because I want the edges to look a little worn and torn. Now for the bandages. I had this weird ravel of strange white fabric, which when unravelled and cut into smaller sections, looked weirdly like bandages. So I unravelled it and cut it into small strips that I would make into the bandages for this doll. For the bandages, I simply just took the fabric and wrapped it around her wrists, ankles, and thighs a couple times, with a dab of glue to hold the ends in place. I think the bandages actually look pretty realistic. I did end up having to tack the coat on with some glue. But now to reattach the head to the body. I think that she looks pretty dapper put all together. Now for the shoes. I make some simple paper mache casts on my mannequin doll, cut them down to size, add on a heel out of some air dry clay. I'm running out of epoxy, so I'm trying to be a bit conservative, and paint them black. And I think they look pretty good. With that, she's done. Thank you guys all so much for watching. We're one step closer to the end of this series. I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe check out another video while you're here, or wait for the next one in 3 weeks. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye!